How China challenged America's economic power in 1980. China's economy was smaller than that of many developing countries. Millions of Chinese citizens lived in poverty. Most people around the world viewed China as a poor agricultural nation with little influence on the global economy. Meanwhile, the United States stood at the top of the world. It had the largest economy, the strongest military, and some of the world's most powerful companies. Few people could have imagined that within just a few decades, China would become America's biggest economic rival. Today, China manufactures more goods than any other country. It has built cities at a pace never seen before in human history. It is leading in industries ranging from electric vehicles to renewable energy and artificial intelligence. So how did China rise so quickly? And can it eventually overtake the United States? This is the story of how China challenged America's economic power. When China was poor for much of the 20th century, China struggled economically. Political instability, wars, and economic policies limited growth. By the late 1970s, China's economy was largely closed to the outside world. Most businesses were controlled by the government. Foreign investment was almost non-existent. Living standards remained low. At the same time, America was experiencing technological innovation, global influence, and economic prosperity. The gap between the two countries was enormous. Many experts believed China would remain poor for generations. But history was about to take an unexpected turn. The reforms that changed everything in 1978, Chinese leader Deng Xiaoping launched a series of economic reforms. His goal was simple: open China to the world. Special economic zones were created. Foreign companies were invited to invest. Private businesses gained more freedom. Factories began producing goods for international markets. These changes transformed China's economy. Investors saw an opportunity. Labor costs were low. The workforce was enormous. Manufacturing expanded rapidly. Within a few years, China became one of the world's fastest-growing economies. The country had found its path to growth. The world's factory as globalization accelerated. Multinational companies searched for cheaper places to manufacture products. China offered exactly what they needed. A massive workforce, improving infrastructure, government support. Factories spread across the country. Products labeled "Made in China" appeared everywhere. From toys and clothing to electronics and household goods, China became the workshop of the world. Companies from Europe, America, and Asia moved production to China. Millions of jobs were created. Hundreds of millions of people escaped poverty. Economic growth reached levels rarely seen in human history. China's rise was no longer a possibility. It was becoming a reality. Joining the global economy, a major turning point came in 2001. China joined the World Trade Organization. This gave Chinese businesses greater access to international markets. Exports exploded. Foreign investment surged. Global trade expanded dramatically. China became deeply connected to the world economy. As trade increased, so did China's influence. Its economy grew larger every year. The gap between China and the United States began to shrink. For the first time, America faced a challenger unlike any it had seen before. Building the future China didn't stop at manufacturing. It invested heavily in infrastructure. Entire cities were built. High-speed rail networks connected major regions. Ports, highways, and airports expanded rapidly. At the same time, China focused on technology. Companies developed advanced telecommunications systems. Artificial intelligence became a national priority. Research spending increased dramatically. China understood an important lesson. The future belongs to innovation. If it wanted to compete with America, it could not simply manufacture products. It had to create them. The technology battle today, competition between China and America, extends far beyond factories. The battle now includes artificial intelligence, semiconductors, electric vehicles, robotics, renewable energy. Space technology. The United States remains home to many of the world's most influential technology companies. But China has developed powerful competitors of its own. The race is no longer just about economic growth. It is about who will shape the technologies of the future. Both nations understand the stakes. Whoever leads these industries may hold enormous influence over the global economy. The trade war. As China's economy grew, tensions increased. Many American leaders argued that trade policies were unfair. concerns emerged about manufacturing jobs leaving the United States. In response, tariffs and trade restrictions were introduced. A trade war began. Both countries imposed tariffs on billions of dollars worth of goods. The conflict highlighted a larger reality. The relationship between China and America had entered a new phase. They were no longer just trading partners. They were strategic competitors. Can China overtake America? This is one of the most debated questions in economics. Can China become the world's largest economy? Supporters point to China's huge population, industrial capacity, and technological progress. Critics argue that challenges such as demographics, debt, and slowing growth could limit China's rise. The answer remains uncertain. History shows that economic power is never guaranteed. Nations rise, nations fall. The future will depend on innovation, productivity, education, and leadership. Conclusion: just a few decades ago, China was one of the world's poorest countries. Today, it stands as America's biggest economic challenger. Its transformation is one of the most remarkable stories in modern history. Whether China eventually surpasses the United States or not, one thing is clear. The rise of China has already changed the world, and the competition between these two giants will help shape the future of the 21st century. Do you think China will become the world's largest economy, or will the United States remain number one? Let us know in the comments, and subscribe for more stories about countries, economics, and the forces shaping our world.